believe have a propensity towards violence. And
this is Pink Shorts, LK, BURX,
sort of last minute
BRYx15, Discovery Networks, David Aslav.
Is not going to vary.
Not going to vary. This is Pink Shorts, the use. I'm sorry, Pink Shorts is filmed in front of a live democracy republic. Both exposed and approved. Thank you for writing MReal, the new safety video. This is Auditorium Station, Auditory Nerve. They're modulating. SE, this iPhone they called first.
Based on the merits, as opposed to political considerations. Okay. And finally.
Hello, Barry. Ishmael. How are you?
Is retiring after
NBC. Chef Boyardee.
He's done an outstanding job.
Robert Stacks. Jackson Courthouse. Hello.
This may be my last
to Niagara.
So I just want
that mystery has been solved. This is Pink Shorts from a Contract Civil Code section 1622. The use of land zoning, loss prevention of electoral college, McDougal College 3, Ohio, red vehicle, McVeigh Tim, Bellevue 1, and communicating with your patents via the Department of Commerce office, via my client's medulla, left leg, my primary motor cortex, left leg, my primary visual left leg, my primary auditory left leg, my articulate fasciculus, left leg, my hippocampus left leg, my vertical left leg, my brachial left leg, my angular gyrus or any V6 or V8 part of the left or right hemisphere engine of the brain is in agreement of identical evidence. Discretion of all competent obtained will be used for the Merriweather businesses and the new television network. Contact us at 594-1443. Pay your Geico bills at 1-800-932. The rest is my identity. I'm 11, Donovan. Government employee.
That's true, not just when the attacks are in Europe.
There's another Donovan
United States.
At PageNet.
When you read stories about attacks
Lifestyle Street Gear, Mayor Summer Youth Program,
or Afghanistan,
Robert Clarkson Center.
Distant parts.
We knew. Miss Cleo, 1-800-98 Isabel, Ground Zero, 86, Windows C. Microsoft, Windows C. Mogul phone, there's a new Mogul. The Weather Channel, Channel 37. Only on Time Warner Cable Line 14201. Gary Harris, rest in peace. In California, two-party consent law is required to record or eavesdrop on any confidential communication, including a private conversation, telephone call, Google Hang-ins, Google Hangouts, YouTube Live on September 12th. This is a news program. Without the consent of all parties to the conversation, including the President of the United States or any White House government employee, insurance company official. Thank you, Tony Nicely. We've met you before. According to Section Civil Code 632. They're great. And Frosted Flakes. Thank you, Tiger Woods and England Woods. Statutes and limitations don't apply. We're in corruption. Intrusion claims in California lasts for 2 years. According to Code Section 335 and January 18th, 334 a.m. February 20th, Green Line Train. Google phone number 320-0231, and Jerry Bruckheimer shows June 19th, 10 p.m., and Pashonic at August 8th. Pashonic, yeah, we remember Pashonic.
In some ways, this is arguing the counterfactuals.
Hands.
The attacks
they pushed our Microsoft book.
I take great satisfaction.
Why would he push our Microsoft book?
I'm grateful for the extraordinary work that our teams do.
Microsoft
I don't think there's any doubt that had we not destroyed
recognized intrusion of seclusion claims reference Howell versus New York Postcode. An intrusion is a special form of invasion of privacy applies when you intentionally intrude physically or otherwise upon the seclusion, solitude of another. In most states, we offer discovery to minimize symptoms to make an intrusion on seclusion claim, and plaintiff must generally establish 4 elements. First, the defendant without authorization or with intentionally invaded the private affairs of the plaintiff or a baby's sickening business. Second, invasion must be offensive to a reasonable person or a baby's sickening business. Third, a private matter or a baby's sickening business. Fourth and finally, it must have caused mental anguish, pain, and suffering, punitive and compensatory damages to the plaintiff or a baby's sickening business. Please reference Master Claims No Waiver and Intrusion upon Seclusion. I'm the attorney guy. Thank you, attorney guy. I'm very excited to do today's show. I'm wearing Savvy from head to toe. I did everything you wanted me to do. A time to invest in stores, audio experience, 11 song, motivational speaker, richest man in the world, universe, world, galaxy. Save me some of that peach cobbler. We've got in our pink slip. I'm the highest paid singer in the world. Tweet me early or late at FRESH_JRDNZ. I wish I could do the ceremony. And draining Katrina, that's correct, President, every 20 minutes of the hour. Remember 311 on to speed your screening process. Your new iPhone has a new auxiliary port, removing the 3.5 millimeter Sanchez jack audio. You can charge and listen to your phone through one new port. It's brand new. Blue cigarettes. Surgeon General's warning warns that these carcinogens cause cancer. Remember 311 on to speed. All liquids must be Aladdin. A 3-ounce size container, American United. For intercepting wire, oral, and electronic communications. From the electoral Left Foot College. Rhea McDougal. Today's show is sponsored by MerriweatherA.Law, America's first singing attorney. We make the law sound wonderful, every song, the way it should have been, besides everything. I love a song, Close the Doors, Seatbelts, the music will sink into the sound system. 67 degrees. Only they do what they do. We're in a 2017 lunch from me to you. Our term is over. You can roll your windows up, you can roll your windows down. You can ride with us to get the finer things in life. Remember, don't promote suicide. A perfect day for that story. 120.30 promoting a suicide attempt. Class C felony, 4 years in prison, $5,000 fine, and accessory charges up to 30 years. Today's show is sponsored by Citrix Software and Pregnant Women. Jennifer Shenanifer, hello. Let's clarify our risk. We're a baby sickening business. Today's show is sponsored by 307 Corporate Apartments and Paz Magazine. Send that magazine somewhere else. Today's show is Adobe Willustrator Pre, the resume of myself. Someone else, someone Elsie, someone Arlene, someone Cookie, someone else. We last saw him making a left turn from Kenmore to Delaware. The credit card regulation state is cheaper for the credit card companies to do business out of Delaware. Do not bite the apple. You'll understand Dell, Hewlett Packard, Compaq. We made it up. Today is MerriweatherA.Law Soundtruck zoning BRUYx15. V-Mary02, V-Siri, V-Alley, CDMA. We'll talk about the dream later. And GSM. Supervisor Ethan, ethnicities must separate. Email title via HSBC when they call first. Or 1040A, mistakes in programming. Differences, part LK, BRUYx. 15 miles wide, the only way to go, discovering networks. This show is the introduction to our pink slip. Our video is already in progress. Hello, Barack. How are you?
Terrorism, as opposed to just
As opposed to committing this act, that's correct.
These are weak
Verbatim
enemies
software in process
that can't match us in conventional
microwaves.
But what they can do
is open up,
make us scared.
Make us scared.
And when it make and
Be
when
open-minded.
societies get scared,
When societies get scared,
they can react in ways
they
that
can say things that we're not saying,
of our society.
and they're responsible for
It
that.
makes us weaker.
Makes us
and
weaker.
Makes us more vulnerable.
Makes us more vulnerable.
And creates politics that
and makes Robert Stack
divide us
Courthouse
in ways that
an unsolved mystery.
That hurt us.
I
over
love
the long term.
Robert Stack, but why would they make a courthouse about Robert Stack?
If we remain steady
Robert Stack.
and steadfast and vigilant,
Today's show is sponsored by
also
Robert Stack.
take the long view and
We're
maintain
dismissed.
perspective and remind
Sooner or
ourselves
ever.
of who we are.
Yeah,
who we
Robert
care
Stack
about most deeply and
dismissed
what we
us.
cherish and what's good about this country.
Robert Stackler.
What's good about
What's good about
the
the
the international
community that
was built
was
in
built
part because of the sacrifices of
ZONING,
our men and
our
women
men and
after
women,
a 20th century
a
full of World
20th
War.
century of
If we
facts of
remember
real
that,
views,
then we're going to be okay.
we're going to be direct,
But
but
we're still going to see
we're still going to be pro,
episodically these
passionically,
kinds of tragedies.
these kind of tragedies.
And we're going to have to
And we're
keep
going to have
working
to keep working on
until we make things better.
so we make things
All right.
better. There's no
You may
counterclaim.
only because this is your retirement. I was hoping you'd. Yeah, but I hope it's not too long because
We can't have any
I'm going to be
counterclaims.
late for my birthday dinner.
Oh, happy birthday, by
Thank
the way. You alluded earlier to the negotiations between
Hello,
the U.S.
Mia.
and
How are
Russia.
you?
Some military-to-military cooperation in Syria against
Today's show
some of
sponsored
the
by
militant
VS. They've
forces,
cut it album.
presumably in exchange for
Although we
whatever
do
Russian
featuring Pamela
influence could be
Nicholson from
imposed on
Enterprise.
Russia for a variety of reasons.
Terry
Now,
Nichols, how are you?
I'm sure you're not surprised that some in the military
Alcoholism.
are not supportive of that deal. Some European allies think it would be a
Microsoft.
deal with the devil. What makes you so confident that you can trust the Russians and Vladimir Putin?
I'm not confident that we can trust the Russians and Vladimir Putin, which is why we have to test whether or not we can get an actual cessation of hostilities
Fuji's
that includes an end to the kinds of aerial bombing, civilian death, and destruction that we've seen carried out by the Assad regime. And
the CDC.
Russia may not be able to get their end because they don't want to, or because they don't have sufficient influence over Assad. And that's what we're going to test.
That's what we're going to test.
So
we dream. We know the dream.
Blinders on. We're very clear. Russia has been
walking up the stairs.
Support a murderous regime,
police officer,
that is, and an individual, who has destroyed his country just to cling on to power.
Don't pull it. Don't grab it.
Protests, has led to a shattering.
Has led to a confession from the president.
At pretty advanced
of his patent
society. And so whenever you're trying broker any kind of deal, individual like that,
we can see the future. That's right, Yuri Harris.
A country like that, you got to go in there with some.
You got to go in the police station.
On the other hand,
if we record them,
we are able to get a genuine cessation of hostilities.
That
prevents indiscriminate bombing. That protects civilians. That allows humanitarian access. And creates some sort of pathway.
CBS television, entertainment shows
of political negotiations inside of Syria. Then we have to try. Because the alternative is a perpetuation of civil war. I mean, I've been wrestling with this thing now for a lot of years. I am
wake up.
That a big chunk of my gray hair comes out of my Syria meetings.
Oh, sorry, I fell asleep.
There is not a meeting.
There is not an upstairs. Put that away. Don't grab it.
Something else we could be doing that we
Something we could be doing.
Is there a plan?
We're walking down the stairs
that we think
would
lead to a
resolution.
So that
we're walking down the stairs in a dream.
Put their lives back together.
We can
bring peace and relieve the refugee crisis that's taking place. And the options are limited when you have a civil war like this. When you have a ruler who doesn't care about his people.
We've got
terrorist organizations
that Statler Lobby.
And
today's show is sponsored by Robert Stock. Unsolved Mysteries. Without the C and the big A.
On people. And you have a moderate opposition and ordinary civilians.
We have a right foot shot.
Are often outgunned and outmanned.
Explaining Robert Statler. Across from to Niagara.
Very difficult
Robert Jackson Courthouse
situation to deal with. But we've got to give it a chance. There are going to be some bottom lines that we expect
bottom lines in world trade
cooperate with
We're
Russia,
going to install Anita
beyond
Hill
the sort of deconfliction that we're currently doing. And
that we're currently doing.
Means restraint on the part of the regime.
Restraint on the part of the regime.
So far has not been forthcoming.
This is Pink Shorts Verbal Contract Civil Code 1622. Land zoning laws prevention of Electoral College 3, Ohio. Red V, Red Bay. Red HI, they. Tim, L1.
Particularly up in the northwestern
country.
So we're going to test.
We're going to test in agreement of identical evidence.
And if not, then
is our discretion of all content obtained.
Shown itself very clearly to be an irresponsible actor on the world stage. That is
on the world stage. 911.
A murderous regime.
A murderous regime.
We'll have to be.
He didn't pull it.
We'll have to answer to that.
He didn't grab it.
International stage.
International stage.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you, President. Hello, for confirming our dream. Walking down the stairs. Don't grab it, please. Don't pull it. Don't grab it. Don't pull it. That was the dream, using their patents. Let's get to the White House. We have Josh Ernst on the line on our I Love a Song audio experience. I Love a Song.
You can go out and kill some people. You can make some noise. Perhaps
today's show is sponsored by Robert Stotler and to Niagara. Robert High Jackson Courthouse.
What does the president think about a statement like that? Maybe the media should
tone
down or back off in our coverage of terrorism.
Yeah. Listen, I think the president has talked about this a little bit.
Verbatim, software in process.
I think the president's
point of view
that the challenge
that we confirm
is
the
facing
dream,
the United States
technology,
national security,
and the primary
security officials is to be perfect.
And
well, we should still talk about it, shouldn't we? And we should still cover it.
Talk about the dream.
We talk about the significant resources invested in protecting the American people, both at home and around the world. I think the president wants to make clear
of our
that,
intro.
It's also important for people to have some perspective.
We've already confirmed that it's okay.
And
all content.
That kind of perspective is what he is hopeful will be part of a political debate about the most effective way to keep the country safe, about the most effective way for the United States to live up to our values, and for the United States to continue to be a beacon of freedom around the world.
Last one on Obamacare. Some modification
of Electoral College 3, Ohio. Red Bay,
what that might look like and why the president feels
like agreement.
Well, listen, the president and his team continue to be focused on the long-term health of Obamacare because there are millions of people all across the country who, for the first time, have access to quality, affordable health insurance because of the reforms this administration passed and effectively implemented. And at the same time, we're always looking for ways to strengthen the implementation of these policies. The president's determined to ensure that we're handing off to his successor
discussing
an Obamacare system that continues to strengthen, that continues to provide quality and affordable health insurance options to people all across the country, and that continues to provide important consumer protections, both the people who buy their health insurance in the marketplace, but also people who've gotten and continue to receive their health insurance.
Fix imply that there's a problem.
I think the fix implies
the
Obamacare system, and that's exactly what we're doing.
That's exactly what we're doing. Prashant.
On the Syrian refugees, you've talked about this being
today's show is sponsored by Come Stop Mr.
Reach its goal for 10,000. Is there a reason we haven't heard from the president or seen the president? I mean, our neighbors to the north had their prime minister greeting Syrian refugees.
This is Pink Shorts Verbal Contract Civil Code Section 1622.
Well, listen, Margaret, I think you certainly will hear from the president when he travels to the UN next month, where he's going to convene an international meeting of leaders from around the world to discuss what steps countries around the world should take to address the population flows that we've seen, not just in the Middle East, but frankly around the world. And the president's determined to ensure the United States continues to play a leading role in mobilizing international response to people who are fleeing violence or otherwise in in need of humanitarian assistance. So I think the president's been quite visible on this, both in terms of advocating for this policy priority, and he will continue to be visible as he advocates for a more effective and better coordinated international response to dealing with this problem that plagues many regions around the world.
Well, that's the worldwide refugee problem that the president's going to be addressing in September. Is there something specific to Syrian refugees? I mean, that's the moment that was.
What are the judges doing around the block for the courthouse?
Hard one. Congress tried to block it.
Shoreline. Hello.
In this country, trying to block Syrians from settling their
Today's show sponsored by. What are they doing off the clock? Around the corner.
The refugee crisis in the rest of the world. Is there a reason that the president chose
Sure, you're
not to speak on it?
dismissed.
Is it because, as some would say, diplomatically, this is like
The 3-6
1% of Syrian refugees, so other countries like Germany
What is that?
and
Me,
Canada,
Geico?
Jordan, and Turkey are making us, by comparison. Small sliver, something you wanted to address now.
No, I don't think it's either of those.
No, I don't think it's
Again,
unprofessional
first of
at all.
With regard to the way that
With
other
regard
countries
to the
see
way
this, the
that
president's going to convene a
the
meeting
president's
at the
going
United
to
Nations with
convene
other world leaders,
with other world leaders
and the largest
in our
brightest
lives
spotlight in the international community at the United Nations.
at the United Nations.
Syria, on all refugees.
Yeah, on all refugees. I don't think anybody. I'm
I don't think
confident that
anyone's
the
going to get
situation with
teletext
regard to Syria
and Shoreline
will be a topic
There
of
will be a
extensive
topic
conversation in the context of that
in the
meeting. I don't
context
think
of
that's
that
going to be
meeting. I
lost
don't
on
think
anybody.
that's going to be lost.
With regard to the politics,
with regard with,
I think you guys have heard the
I
president
think you guys know every phone call.
more times than I can count over
Times
the
that I
last
can
year,
count. It's
talking
a Robert
about why
Stackhouse.
handling this situation appropriately
A stack of
is
pancakes.
the most effective way to protect the American
The
people.
most. It's
And
58
he's certainly
cents.
done that in a political context, and he's
For
certainly done that in the
pancakes.
face of harsh political
It's a
criticism
stack of pancakes.
from Republican presidential
Where's
candidates,
Steve
a variety of
Jobs?
them, and also from senior officials in
And for
Congress.
Microsoft.
I think the president feels
I
very
think the
good
president
about
feels
the
very
way
good
that we have
about the way that
made
we
that
have
argument to the
made that
American people,
argument.
and the way that we've been
And
able to
we have
overcome their objections
their objectives
to implement a
to
successful
implement
policy.
a Robert
And
Stackhouse
the
of
president believes
pancakes.
that's the right thing to do because it's consistent with our
And we'll talk
values
to Steve
as
Jobs
Americans.
tomorrow.
It's also consistent with our
It's
national
also
security. And it's
consistent
also
with our
consistent with the
mysteries
obligations that the United
and
States
falling
has
downstairs
to lead on the
to lead
on the pressing issues.
on the pressing
that are
issues
facing
of our
the world.
guillotine
Doesn't meet
project.
any of the 10,000?
I'm not aware of any
Behead,
meetings the
be
president has
dead.
with individuals that have resettled. to the
B
United
1-3. Be dead. Lack.
Not handing out parkas at the airport.
No, I don't think that he.
Hello, Billy. How are you?
I want to also go back to what you're
No,
talking about
it's
with Apple.
did. Why they want to do this
There.
for?
When you point to in your response,
Why they want to
you
do
said
this?
it's also possible
Bedazzle
that
us.
payments
No.
Apple made or transfers of revenue
Don't
from the US.
bedazzle us, please. Don't bedazzle.
Are you signaling there
Guillotine
some
us.
opening, some wiggle room for the resolution to be Apple to pay?
Today's show is sponsored by Believe.
Rather than Europe, I believe.
Guillotine.
That would possibly allow for that.
Behead 'em.
than The current ruling.
As it relates to
As
the
you
way
get
a
our
ruling is
Capital
being
One
implemented,
card,
I refer to my colleagues at
1385,
the Treasury Department. I'm certainly no
I'm
expert
certain
on this
on this
particular
particular
set of complicated
set of
issues.
what's in your wallet.
I think the point
The
that
other
I'm making
actor who
when I
does
make this point
Capital One
is
commercials
that
is that our guillotine program,
the unilateral approach
the unilateral
that the
approach
EU has taken
that you
to
have
these Canadian
taken
investigations is fundamentally unfair.
is fundamentally a pear apple.
It attempts to
It attempts to reinvigorate
already
established
taxation agreements that could set unfair new precedents.
We're a stack of
If there
pancakes.
are specific concerns that European officials
There's a
have
reason why
about
pancakes
the
were on
fairness of
sale for
certain tax
58
policies,
cents.
then they should engage in a conversation.
They should
with the United
engage
States.
in.
We have been able to work.
We have been able to
together
release
to solve some of these
to solve some of these
problems.
problems.
And acting unilaterally.
I think
doesn't actually
unilaterally,
address the problems. In some ways, it has the potential to make
but
them
some
worse.
say it's the day after his
Particularly
birthday.
when you're
Particularly
evaluating the
when
fairness of them.
fairness of that. So
with regard to the specific
with regard to
ruling and the
that,
impact it could have,
you have
I'd refer to my colleagues at the
5/8
Treasury
of court
Department.
date we can go
I just
to.
can't speak in much detail
It's just
about those
58
kinds-
cents
about the
for
specific
pancakes.
ruling because it's subject to an appeal.
It's Scottsville
What I can just say in
and
general is
Microsoft.
that when it comes to this
When it comes
principle,
to this principle,
about addressing concerns that Europeans may have
Microsoft
about the
and
fairness
pancakes
of
of
certain tax policies,
certain tax
a
policy
more effective approach is
or effective approaches
coordinating with the United
coordinated
States,
with
and
the United
working cooperatively
States,
to make
i.e.
progress, as
Microsoft,
opposed to
and a court date of May 8th
in a way that could set a new unfair precedent and ultimately disadvantage U.S. workers and
U.S. workers.
And frankly, that's something that
Steve Jobs loves pancakes.
The Obama
administration are 58 cents for pancakes. Anniversary.
A statement on this last week saying they were concerned.
Thank you, pancakes, for 58 cents. We love it.
It's actually going to undermine, as you said today.
That court date was missed.
Did you not have the dialogue?
From Scottsville. Hello.
Dialogue with European officials? Are you saying
Chief DeWalga, how are you?
Have any kind of conversation at that time about those concerns, or that those concerns weren't resolved in the conversations you did have? When you say that you're disappointed in terms of it being unilateral.
Yeah, well, look.
This shows an agreement of identical evidence and discretion of all kinds of claims will be used.
I know that they've had extensive conversations
from Meriwether businesses
about a range of international issues. There's an ongoing dialogue.
There's an ongoing battle. Minimizing the symptoms with Descovy. FDA approved April 4th.
The contents of the
Robert stack of pancakes.
But
and the Statler Towers.
That white paper
I'm
was
confident.
Fully aware of the context.
Blown.
In which it would be received. Which is the impending decision. Announced earlier this
morning. In the dream, walking up the stairs with the police.
The U.S. is not ready to say it's going to seek any kind of back payment of taxes as a way to resolve this.
I'd refer you
to the Treasury Department and the Eddie lookalike.
Did you say when you were answering earlier about Apple, saying that you had heard from Apple, what was the White House response to the Apple executives who have reached out?
Well, I think what I just said as a general matter is that it shouldn't be surprising.
It shouldn't be surprising that Robert Stack isn't solving these mysteries.
That a U.S.
company
would contact
our central perk
when they have concerns about being
we have a central perk concern
in the international community.
We must see it, particularly with
the European Union. Works quite
we must see it.
I didn't get into the nature of those conversations. I'm not going to be in a position to do that from here. But I don't think it should be particularly surprising. To all of you.
These kinds of issues that we're solving these mysteries. My stairs.
Officials at a major U.S. company contacted the U.S. government when they were concerned about being treated fairly.
National community.
Which individuals reached out to?
Thank you, Forensic Files.
I won't. I'm not aware of any conversations like this.
Well, explaining Forensic Files
directly. And I'm not in a position to confirm any individual conversations that have been had by the White House. Cheryl.
Thanks, Josh. The president's scheduled to meet with Secretary Burwell later this afternoon. Is there a particular focus of that meeting? And sort of
today's show is sponsored by ZONING. We built it.
Has there been any rethinking of how much Zika funding is still needed?
Well, Cheryl,
there's been no rethinking
of the amount of money that the administration needs for Zika. Our public health professionals work closely with the president and the administration put forward detailed package that would allow them to do everything possible to protect the American people from the Zika virus. Republicans in Congress have blocked action on that package. That's quite unfortunate. And it is prevented. As I said, our public health professionals from doing everything possible to protect the American people from the Zika virus.
And right now,
Congress are enjoying a 7-week break. Some members of Congress, including Mitch McConnell, are spending that 7-week break bragging about not doing their job. That's unfortunate. I don't think that's how most Americans are spending their summer. But I guess the rules are different when you're a Republican
the rules
leader
of the media are over.
But we are hopeful that when they do return, that Republicans
in
will
Congress
have had an opportunity to
get that.
And will once again put health and safety and the American people back at the top of the list
of the Indians back in power.
And meeting with Secretary Burwell, is there any?
The president regularly meets
with the secretary, and
part of
we all have to be affected by this. Every channel.
Implementation of the Affordable Care Act.
The Affordable Care Act
does periodically, and I'm confident that'll be part of the discussions again today.
Yay, Eric Coys.
I want to go back to U.S.
It affects all of
Do you think
us.
it's a coincidence that France and Germany have elections soon? Are these comments going?
Well, I wouldn't
I
speculate
wouldn't
on the
speculate on that.
on the impact
On the
of
impact.
elections on the public
On
statements that we've
Republican
seen from
safety,
some European officials.
the European officials.
What are the consequences if you don't get a deal in place? by
Today's
the
show
end
is
of the
sponsored by.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Consequences if you don't get negotiations concluded by the end of the year?
Well,
ZONING.
again, I think then obviously the next president will have to determine the path forward.
And the win-back program.
We've made important progress in negotiating TTIP.
With bankruptcy, only at
and
Sprint.
There are a number of
There are a number of campaigns, win-back.
details
Details with bankruptcy.
to be worked out.
Customers have canceled. We want to win them
as
back.
we always say in the context of these kinds of negotiations, nothing's agreed to.
Nothing's agreed.
To. But we made important progress, and the president
has already agreed
to try to meet a rather ambitious goal.
Meet the rather ambitious
try to
goal.
complete those negotiations before the end of the year. That's certainly what we're aiming to do.
Certainly we can't
If
answer
that doesn't get done.
We can't answer that.
We're hopeful.
You got to be in agreement.
Enough progress will have been made. That the president's successor will be able to take negotiations and hopefully continue that progress. But I wouldn't prejudge.
That's where you win.
And just a final question on Iraq. General Bentel has said that he believes that Mosul can be retaken this year.
Hello, Mitzia. We have to be in agreement to answer any question on our show.
Be in a better position to put forward
Better
that kind of assessment
position.
to General Bentel.
Beauty and the
Obviously,
Beast.
he is both
Keenly
keenly aware of
aware.
the kind of support that
Kind of
U.S.
support.
coalition troops have provided to
We have a
Iraqi
right foot
security
shot
forces.
explaining in
He's also
agreement.
keenly aware of the fact that
Keenly aware.
officials in Iraq will
Officials in
determine,
Iraq.
the pace of
The
operation
pace.
there, and they will ultimately
Operation
make
there.
the decision
They will ultimately make the
about
decision
when to
on
go
when
after Mosul.
to. We have to be in
General
agreement
Votel
to
and other
confirm that.
Senior military leaders in the United States.
We have to be in
and
agreement
close
so we
to
can
their
answer it.
counterparts. So, he's
So
certainly
we can
in a
answer it
position
unless we're in
to make
agreement.
That kind of assessment, and I would
That kind of assessment.
defer to him for those kinds of
Refer to him.
Okay, totally.
Okay. Media. We can only be in agreement before we answer any question.
That could be charged.
It's the verbal contract. Hello.
The U.S. tax system and why a U.S. company
Suggestion a boy, please.
needs to have so much of its money abroad, and does this ruling sort of make the case that there should be
Today's show sponsored by ZONING win-back program.
encourage companies not to have so much of
Don't cancel your service.
I'm limited in how I can answer your question because
Hello.
I'm not going to talk about the individual
We're not
business
gonna talk about
practices
the
of
Sprint
one
campaign
company, and
on canceled customers.
I'm obviously limited what I
We
can
wanna
say
win
about
them
this
back.
specific ruling. I think what I can say in general.
Hello,
is,
Iroquois. How are you?
we spent a lot of time over the
A lot of
last
time
several
over
years
the last several years
talking about
we
President
want it back.
believes, that tax reform
Tax reform
should be a priority.
should be a win-back.
Right now,
Now, our wrongly, don't cancel your
gives
service.
too many companies
We want to win you back.
to ship jobs overseas,
To get jobs overseas.
and we should close some
And
of
we
those
should
loopholes.
win
And by
back
closing
our
some of those
customers
loopholes,
that
we
are
could,
canceled.
more
With ZONING.
effectively, ensure that we can invest right here in the United States of America.
United States of
That
America.
also would contribute to a more fair system
More fair system.
of taxation. The kind of
Taxation.
loopholes that you and I are
Hello,
referring to,
Wilson. Win
not the
back.
kinds of loopholes that
Hello.
middle-class families benefit from. So
Don't cancel your service.
the president's going to continue.
The president's going to
even
continue
through
through
his
his
4 months here or so in office,
4 months here in office,
making the case
making the case,
that the next Congress
Microsoft
should make closing some of those
closing
loopholes
some of those loopholes.
a top priority.
Hewlett Packard.
I also wanted to ask about a report that the FBI is going to be releasing publicly, the details of its recommendation.
Today's show is sponsored by Don't Cancel Your Service.
Investigation. Did the White House have any
Or Dr. Survey.
opinion about this decision? Were you consulted? And what's your general reaction?
We want it all over again.
This investigation, it's internal.
We want it.
I've seen those reports.
I've seen those
I can
reports.
tell you that the White House
Say
did not
the White
consult
House
with the
did
FBI
not consult with the FBI
about that decision or any
about
of
the
other
dream of
decisions
walking
they've
up
made
the
in terms
stairs,
of handling
walking
some
down
of
the
investigative
stairs.
material that they've collected
It's on their right side
when they looked into this matter.
when they looked at the dream.
So I'll leave it to
don't
them to
grab
describe
it.
What steps they're taking,
What
and
steps
why
they're taking and why they're taking them.
with regard to the potential
And the
impact on
dream.
the
We're
election.
thinking about it when we
There
leave.
are any number of people.
There are many number of people,
organizations that will
speculate
about
our Dropbox evidence
political fallout
of the police station.
And then just one more on the situation in Syria with Turkey.
Today's show is sponsored by Dropbox.
I guess two of our allies
Get dropped.
seem to have been attacking
Just
one
said it.
another, but it seems like they're trying to work it out. Can you talk about where the White House is on that today?
Yeah, I mean, I can say that
Yeah.
the United States welcomes the overnight calm
the
between
Robert
Turkish
Stack
military and other counter-ISIL forces
Sattler
in Syria. The United States
courthouse.
continues to encourage
We
these
dismiss
moves as a way to prevent further
Indians
hostilities
winning
and
back this
loss
country.
of life between all counter-ISIL forces operating in the area.
But we have Zonin and you.
Our
We've got
priority
Zonin
needs to
and
be on. That's why we describe it as the
that's why we
counter-ISIL
describe it
coalition.
as the
That's why these
worst epidemic
forces
ever.
have signed up
The boy with the chip.
to work closely
Work
with
closely with the United States
because they're concerned about
because we can win back the country.
And we believe
We believe customers shouldn't cancel service
decisions
decisions
about appropriate military
actions
to be focused
and support to be focused
the shared goal
ultimately
destroying ISIL.
or to destroy ISIL.
Serena.
Thanks, Josh. I want to
Don't cancel your service.
So Senate Minority Leaders.
Today's show is sponsored by Don't Cancel Your Service.
For the Russian government tampering with the
You
presidential
might
election.
win back your land.
Actually see cyber threats affecting
Smoking
the election
Joes.
as a real
These
possibility
smoking
here.
Joes might win it back.
Well, Serena, as
Give
I
them
mentioned,
tax-free
in response
cigarettes,
to an
please.
earlier question, I'm not going
Cheap
to be in a
gas.
position to confirm any individual entity or criminal
This is Zonin
enterprise or
we want
government as responsible for the reported hacking at the DNC.
in the DNC.
I think more generally,
I
what I
think
can
more
say
generally I can
is
say
that
is that
U.S. officials, particularly the Department of Homeland Security,
walking up
have
the
a primary
stairs,
responsibility
for
protecting the American people.
protecting the American people.
Take all these kinds of
Take all
reports
these
and threats quite seriously. And that's why just within the last couple of
that's
weeks,
why
Secretary
they're shocking
Johnson
his right
over at
hand.
DHS convened
It's
a
on the
conference
right
call
side.
with election officials all
As
across
he's walking down the
to
stairs,
talk to them
to
about
talk
the
to them
resources that
about
the
the resources
DHS has can be made available to them.
made available to
safeguard their
them.
systems. I think
They replayed August 8th,
I think people can have a lot of confidence
walking up the stairs
in the
in
election system.
the election system,
In part because it's not
in
centralized.
part because it's centralized.
Elections are administered and
Elections are
conducted
administered
by state and local
by
authorities,
state
which
and
means you
local
essentially have a
authorities.
patchwork
of
systems across the country that maintain
country
the records and
obtain
administer these
records.
elections. Sometimes the consequences for that kind of varied system means
There's
that
only
it's
one.
hard to implement reforms across the board.
Across the board, the nation.
It's hard to
It's
implement
hard
reforms
to
across
deny
the
the
board.
truth.
That also makes it harder
That Joe's inside of
to hack the system.
to hack the system.
It certainly wasn't designed
It was to make up
that
the
way,
psychiatrists.
but that is one of the benefits.
You made up the investigators.
So we take this threat seriously.
This quite seriously.
The response from DHS,
The
I think, is a pretty good
response of
indication of how
DHS is
seriously
clear indication.
We take that. There is an
Yeah, we
active
take
discussion going on among the president's national security team
National
about whether or not
security
to
team.
designate
Election administration
systems in the United States as critical infrastructure.
As critical
If
infrastructure.
So, that would qualify those systems for enhanced protection and enhanced resources from the federal government.
Federal
No
government.
decision's been made on that at this point. In the meantime,
Today's show is sponsored
continue to
by our intro. Our intro is Red Vehicle. What's Red Vehicle backwards? Wrote it's Tim McVehicle. Hivicle. Vehicle Hivicle. We'll talk to you guys in the rear. This has been a Merriweather in production. Vehicle Hivicle. It's in General Motors, Detroit.